Welcome to the Utah Street Banter Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode here on the Utah Street Banter. I'm your host, Cody. Along with me is Elijah. What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing great. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, you know. So we got a fun episode. This episode is titled The AL East Beast, right? And that's basically just saying I believe our division is the most difficult in baseball.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that each team is the best. It's just as a whole, I believe that 1 through 5, no matter who you play, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
One of the cool things to kind of talk about real fast about last year is when you would look at the AL East standings, and then you would look at the AL Central, and at least on my app, they were like top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
And you would look, our last place team was better than their first place team.
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy. It didn't end like that. I mean, it was still pretty close. Because I think was it the Red Sox that finished last year? Am I right?
Yeah, they finished slightly below 500, I believe.
Right, and the Twins creeped over it. You know, so. But anyway, so I do believe that this year again we will be in an extremely competitive division, especially with some of the moves that some of the teams we're going to talk about made. I know if you're listening to this, you're definitely a huge Orioles fan, and you might not care about anybody else, but today's episode, and at least today's episode only, we are going to hit on our division and kind of go through what we believe the roster is going to look like, a little bit of projections, and how we hate them. No, I'm just kidding. But how we feel like we might compare up to each team. We're not going to get super deep because we try to keep our podcast between 30 and 40 minutes. So if you want to go and dive in any deeper, you can do some research yourself, and we'll just kind of give you the Cliff Notes version. And if you're too young for Cliff Notes, it's basically like Googling the answers,
Cliff Notes is still around, Cody. It's just not a book. It's a website now.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't read much books in high school.
yeah. I remember when you had to go to the bookshelf and get a thing for like synonyms and antonyms and then there's this weird thing that has a whole bunch of words in it. It's called the dictionary, and you would actually get the physical book out. Yeah. It looks like the Bible if you had to compare.
It looks like the Bible.
It's thick. Yeah. It's like, and it's but anyway, you wouldn't know nothing about that. But no, just all right, let's dive in before I keep rambling. We're going to talk first about the Toronto Blue Jays. In my opinion, this team's very good. With their lineup is good. Their starting pitching is good. They had some key pieces that left them this year. I don't think any of them. Well, that's not true. I don't think it's enough to push them very far. Okay. But when I'm looking at the PECOTA standings, PECOTA projections for their standings, currently it has the Toronto Blue Jays finishing in second place in the AL East with 88 wins and 74 losses. Okay. So, like I said, they're still very good. If I were to tell you their starting lineup, their projected 2024 starting lineup, if nothing changes, is George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero, Justin Turner, he was just free agent ad, Kevin Biggio, Davis Schneider, Dalton Varsho, Alejandro Kirk, and Kevin Kiermaier. All pretty, most of them are household names. I mean, you got Davis Schneider, that really is actually probably the only person that a lot of people don't know. And he was an outfield position. And then, of course, pretty much everything. Dalton Varsho, maybe some people don't know who he is. I mean, he's been around a while. Good outfielder, decent outfielder. I mean, no. But the biggest thing I see with them, though, is their starting pitching's good. I mean, they got Kevin Gausman, which, of course, us O's fans know about him. Jose Barrios, right? Chris Bassett. Yusei Kikuchi, and then they're hoping for Alex Manoah to step up and be better than he was last year. After his Rookie of the Year campaign that he was shooting for a couple years ago. Other than every single name, it feels like on this team that is difficult for me to say. What do you think? What are you seeing out of this lineup? Do you think they're going to be good?
I agree. I think they're going to be probably just around where they were last year. They're not going to win the division, but they're probably going to be at least close to a wild card spot. I mean, like you said, they have, in my opinion, one of the best rotations in baseball. And their lineup is very dangerous and very good, but their bullpen is definitely a weakness. They between maybe the top 3 guys, maybe you could say 4. Probably 4. You have Jordan Romano, Eric Swanson, Yimi Garcia, and Tim Meza. Those are all pretty solid guys. And then Chad Green has some potential, but besides that, their bullpen is very shaky.
Yeah, Jordan Romano, man, a really good closer, but the problem he's had is just dependability. I mean, a few injuries last year that hurt him, and then when he's on, he's really good. When he's off, he's not getting it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I just feel like it's hard for us to be super unbiased against them as Orioles fans because the Orioles tend to destroy them. And I think Jordan Romano had at least 2 blown saves against the Orioles. So, but I mean, they have a couple other names that maybe have some potential. Nate Pearson's former top prospect. Zach Pop, that's a former Orioles prospect from back in the doomsday, the Orioles when we were terrible. But I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see because they did lose quite a bit of key pieces here. They lost Matt Chapman, Hyunjin Ryu, Jordan Hicks, Whit Merrifield, and Brandon Belt. And they do have the chance to sign some of those back, but I doubt they're going to sign, especially Chapman, back because this offseason they signed Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Justin Turner. So I think that's going to kind of fill the Merrifield and Chapman holes. And I think you'll see both of them probably play quite a bit of games this year. But, I mean, I don't know. I think they're just going to be kind of middle of the pack in the East again. Put them in the Central, they win the division, but we're not the Central.
Yeah, I agree. One thing the Blue Jays do have, in my opinion, they have the best catching duo that I've in maybe Major League Baseball. I mean, Danny Jansen is a stud. Alejandro Kirk is a stud. You know what I mean? You don't see very often that whoever they put in behind the plate, they're gonna, there's not a hole there. They're both really good. And then a couple guys that Vladdy, he's a stud, gonna be good. One guy that I think needs to prove himself this year is Kevin Biggio. He's had a hard time keeping a starting spot just because of a lack of production. But I guess that's why they got IKF, which is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and they so just because he can play anywhere except for pitcher and catcher, so
that's actually not true. He can't play catcher.
He can?
He came up as a catcher. Yeah.
Called
for the Rangers back in the day a little bit.
Hit me with some facts, dude. Good job.
Yeah, actually, and I think he pitched for the Yankees at some point last year in a blowout. So actually, he can't play all 9 positions.
He can play everywhere. Just prove me wrong. That's fine. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I mean, I think this team's going to be good. They got, in my opinion, one of the best players in Major League Baseball, and that's Bo Bichette. If he's not the best player, he has the best hair out of Major League Baseball. They're like I said, they're going to be great. We're going to have a fun time trying to beat them. But let that happen. Hopefully we come through and just destroy them, right?
Yeah, that's what we tend to do.
Yeah, I hope so. The next team is everybody's favorite, New York Yankees. All right. This team is projected by the PECOTA standings to finish in first place in the AL East with 94 wins and 67 losses. Right. So if you know anything about the PECOTA standings, it's just a projection. They're the most professional sought upon projections most of the time. So a lot of your bettors, Las Vegas looks at the PECOTA standings. And they almost quite often have New York pretty high up.
Yeah.
Don't know the reason for that other than, I mean, I do expect them to be a lot better than last year. Last year, I just feel like they had a lot going wrong. I think that their pitching is better than what it showed. I mean, so unless Carlos Rendon just really tricked everybody, or he just needs to go back to San Fran, I think he has to be better. And they got Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is the best pitcher on earth right now. And I don't think Nestor Cortez will be what Yankee fans hope he is. I think he's good, right? But I think people. Yeah,
he's on my fantasy team. I think he'd be good.
Yeah. I just don't think. I don't think he is like. I don't think he's a 2, right? But they don't need him to be a 2. They need him to be like a solid 4, solid 3. And Domingo Herman, who has kind of been, every year they kind of tell us how good he's going to be. At some point, he's going to have to. He's going to have to meet that, right? But anyway, the other guy that I didn't talk about, Clark Schmidt, he's the other guy that is a projected starter. Now, one guy I think they're going to hate, which I hope they do, but he might prove me wrong, is Marcus Stroman. I think everywhere Marcus Stroman goes, he's a head case. Except, at the Cubs for a little while, he wasn't, and then he got hurt, and he was getting his way. Like I said, the only thing I think happens to him is that's one of those you could definitely see the media just really blow him up. Yeah. You know what I mean? After one bad start, he doesn't take the media very well. So we'll see. As I said, I can easily be proven wrong. This is just my opinion, and then just what I saw in the past, what I've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think, they're definitely going to be better than next year. Like, Soto definitely helps their lineup. Getting Soto and then also Verdugo, I think, is going to be really key for this season. Is going to help. Verdugo is going to help a little bit with the defense, but I think it helps fill out their lineup more 1 through 9 now compared to last year where they had a lot of holes. But their rotation is, I don't know. Their rotation has potential to be the best rotation in baseball, but all it takes is for Rodon to get hurt again or Cortez to get hurt again, and their next man up is Luke Weaver, or I don't even know who else. Their pitching depth is really bad. Like, they have no rotation depth at all, and I think their bullpen is going to be very bad this year. But I don't know. I say that every year about the Yankees, and they end up having good bullpens. But I don't know. They've had some interesting signings, like I already mentioned, Verdugo, Luke Weaver. You already talked about Stroman. They also added Caleb Ferguson, traded him from the Dodgers. I think he's going to be good. Then Trent Grisham, I think he's going to be a bench outfielder, defensive replacement. Help so they don't have to ever put Stanton in the outfield, because that's a travesty against baseball. But they also lost a lot of people all in the Soto trade in Michael King, Kyle Higashioka, Johnny Brito, Drew Thorpe, and Randy Vasquez. And the interesting thing is their rotations are good, but they lost all their depth of this trade. They lost Johnny Brito, Michael King, and Randy Vasquez. And then Drew Thorpe was their best pitching prospect, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. It was an interesting trade. If they don't re-sign him, I see it as a very bad trade.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they don't re-sign him. I mean, Soto looks like one of those guys that, likes the limelight. And that's okay, because he likes the limelight, and that's because he probably will perform in the limelight. Yeah. So, I have no issues if you're like that and you perform. It's because if that's how you make your living and you're good at it, then you do you, man. Real quick, here's the projected starting lineup for the Yankees as of today. They have DJ LeMahieu playing third, Juan Soto in the outfield, Aaron Judge in the outfield, Anthony Rizzo playing first, Gleyber Torres at second, Alex Verdugo in the outfield, Stanton at DH, Anthony Volpe at short, Austin Wells at catcher. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, man. I just feel like this defense is terrible. I think they will be one of the worst defenses in Major League Baseball. I know Aaron Judge is, on MLB Network's top center fielders, or outfielders, whatever it was, he was ranked number 1. That can only be on the offensive side because
his defense has gotten better over the years, but it's still.
Well, it's not his fault either. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
6'7".
not. Yeah, he's. I actually, as an Orioles fan, I like Aaron Judge. I like the way he acts. I like the way. Yeah, he hits home run, runs bases. I have no issues with Aaron Judge at all. It's just the Yankees are going offense first, and that's okay. You're allowed to do that, right? I mean, it's not. It's hard to be both. It's hard to be dominant on both sides of the ball. Or, I don't know, man. Soto, he has a really good arm, but he has to get to the ball. Aaron Judge has a really good arm. He just has to get to the ball. Rizzo, my man, is just not what he was. Glaber might throw the ball into the net over the dugout. Verdugo's good. Verdugo's defense is very good. They obviously can't put Stanton on the field. He'll get hurt. Volpe's learning. Volpe, I think, will be decent. I think Yankees want to just throw him on that Jeter train in a heartbeat. He's not Derek Jeter. That's okay because Derek Jeter's a Hall of Fame shortstop. And Austin Wells, I don't know a ton about Austin Wells at the catching spot, but it's weird not seeing a strong foundation spot in that catcher because that used to be a spot held by a veteran. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Higashioka obviously was there for a while, and I think a lot of Yankees fans liked him. But I think from what I've seen, Austin Wells seems like he's going to be pretty good. He was a prospect, and I don't know. It's just they got rid of Higashioka in the trade for Soto to let Wells have his spot to start now. But they also traded for 2 outfielders when they have a lot of outfield prospects in Jason Dominguez and then also Peraza. And I don't know. I get the Soto thing. Soto's going to start over everyone. I don't blame that. But the Verdugo trade was very interesting to me, especially trading with the Red Sox from Yankees is not something you see very often. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how young guys come up and if they do something, how they get their spot, or if the Yankees just don't care about their prospects.
Yeah, if the Yankees want to add a lot of money, and actually I don't know how many more years he has. I think he has 2. If the Red Sox and Yankees are just going to keep swapping players, you can almost see, a Trevor Story come in, move over to third or second or whatever, move Glaber to third and help with DJ LeMahieu, or DJ can play anywhere. You can almost see something like that happening. May not, which I would have never thought, I say that and I never would have thought that Alex Verdugo would leave because, he was sort of a staple in Boston. And real quick, just to give everybody a heads up, Jose Trevino is still there. So, he's a catcher for the Yankees also. So, he'll probably be there to back up Wells.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that scares me with this Yankees team is not what they are now. It's what they'll be by the end of the year because they have so many people that contracts expire at the end of this year. I'm not sure exactly who all it is. I know at least like Stanton, Rizzo, and a few of their pitchers, their contracts expire this year. And it's going to be like a last year with this core, I think. So I see them making big splashes at the deadline or before the deadline, which that scares me because the Yankees will always find a way to get somebody. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they would trade him, but I mean, you got like Jason Dominguez there as a young guy coming through. I think he's one of those guys that he's going to be there for a while. I can't imagine them giving up on him, especially, the whole issue with the Corbin Burns trade is, I believe it or not, I don't know if people realize this, but the Yankees were ahead of the Orioles there for a while on like trying to get that trade done. But the Brewers just wanted too many they wanted a couple key guys that the Yankees didn't want to give up.
Yeah, the difference in the two teams is they wanted a couple same level prospects as Ortiz and Hall. It's just those are the best Yankee prospects because they don't have a better farm than us.
Right.
We can afford to give up our 50th or 80th prospect when their 90th ranked prospect is their number 1 team prospect. So
Yeah,
So it comes down to Elias being really good.
Absolutely. The next team we're going to hit on right now is the Boston Red Sox. This is weird because, I mean, it feels like when I was a kid, because the Red Sox are projected to finish in last place in the AL East. They're projected to have 79 wins and 82 losses. So, they're a tough one for me because in my mind, I'm still like, think they're the Red Sox of old where they'll just pull wins out of their butt. But they are also, I don't know if you call it a rebuilding stage or it's probably more of a retooling stage, if that makes sense. So they're just trying to bring in some new people. They made a Chris Sale trade, and I'm sure you're going to talk more about those. But yeah, I don't know. I think I can see them making moves for young people that Red Sox fans aren't going to understand yet. But in a couple of years they'll get it.
No, I definitely agree. They're not going to be good this year. It's just that's really all there is to it. They're going to be last, and they're probably going to get under 500. But I think it's an important year to see what happens in the future there. I know they've had a lot of change in their front office over the past year or two, so it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But, I mean, they brought in some interesting names. They brought in Lucas Giolito, Vaughn Grissom, and Tyler O'Neill. Two of those were trades, Vaughn Grissom and Tyler O'Neill. But I think Giolito, he is an interesting one because he had like 2 rough years, and he's going to be with them, and it's going to be see how it is because their rotation is very bad. So it's going to be interesting to see how much – if he bounces back, I think that's going to be huge for them because
I think this is the worst starting rotation in our division. If not, I mean, they have to be pretty low in all the majors. Giolito, if he's as good as he was like a couple years ago, genius move. But I mean, you can't expect that. Their best pitcher, to be honest with you, in my opinion, is can you say that name? Brian Bello? Is that how you say it? Bello?
Brian.
Okay,
Brian
thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian Bayo, thank you. I mean, and he's a young guy. But I mean, if I were to ask any random person on the street that had a baseball cap on who he was, you probably don't know. But yeah.
No, he's the only person that I'm really excited to see because I think he has potential. But I have the Fangraphs projections right here. Their rotation is ranked 18th, and they don't have a single starter with a sub-4 ERA. And out of everyone that is pitching a majority chunk, so like over 100 innings, the lowest one is Bayo, and it's a 4.29, which I definitely wouldn't want to have to bank on as my ace.
Right.
And that's feeling like, I don't know, like 2019 Orioles. Just I don't know. And I mean, yet again, they traded away Chris Sale, like you said, to the Braves in an interesting move, but brought in Vaughn Grissom. I don't know. They're, like you said, it's a retool. They're going to they can't just do a full rebuild because they do still have guys. They still have Trevor Story on contract. They have Tristan Casas coming up. I mean, they still have one of the best third baseman endeavors. And I don't know. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens. I think it's not even going to be their competitive next year either. I think it's at least another 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, their lineup, I still don't want to pitch their lineup. No. I mean, they still hit the ball. Looking at their lineup, you got Jarren Duran. He's going to be an outfield. Rafael Devers is at third. Tristan Casas. They have been projected to be the first baseman. Trevor Story is going to move back to his original spot, and that's at short. Masataka Yoshida, he really good last year. He's an outfielder, but or he could be DH. Tyler O'Neill, they got him. Was that a trade, Elijah, or was that a free agent?
They traded for Tyler O'Neill from the Cardinals.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so he'll be outfielder. And then in this projection, they got a guy named Weiler Abreu as an outfielder. Vaughn Grissom's at second, and Connor Wong is the catcher for their projected starting lineup on opening day. So a lot can change there. But I don't know if everybody is a big Connor Wong, knowledge. But I mean, there are other catchers. Reese McGuire, not much happening at first. I mean, at catcher, but looking at first, Tristan Cassis, he's not bad, you know.
Yeah.
And you got Bobby Dahlbeck that can also play there, I guess. Second base, Von Grissom. Yeah, that's it though. The third base, Rafael Devers, stud. Shortstop, Trevor Story. He's okay. He has pop. I mean, he'll give you, you know, a WAR of 1.5 to 2. You know,
He's had just a rough couple of years.
Yeah, he's injuries and stuff. Yoshida, to me, he's a stud. I think he's really good. Duran Duran. I'm excited about him. He's a young guy that's coming back. But yeah, other than that, I mean, we'll see how it goes. It's just, if you're an Orioles fan, guess what? Just be excited you're not a Red Sox fan right now.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all.
Yeah, who'd have thought you were saying that? I mean, I'd rather Red Sox fans do have a couple more World Series than us recently, so that is the one thing they'll always say.
Yep, and hopefully that changes.
Yeah, but no, they're going to be last. That's really all there is to it.
Right.
You want to get into the Rays?
Let's get into the Rays here. So, the Rays to me are going to be solid. I think they're going to be good. Their lineup hasn't changed a ton, right? They lost Glasnow to the Dodgers, but it seems like whenever they do that kind of stuff, it works for the Rays. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, you know. Like they give up Blake Snell, they get better. You know, there's certain things they do. They gave up Will Myers a few years ago. They didn't miss a step. But you never have to worry about them giving up a pitcher because they seem to have 700 pitchers coming up through.
Now, basically, you never really want to trade with the Rays because you always lose,
right?
No matter what. But it's going to be interesting to see because their rotation is very hurt. Last year they had a lot of guys go down, like Drew Rasmussen got hurt. The one guy that I saw last year that was really impressing me was Jeffrey Spring. But I know he got Tommy John, so he'll be out for a while. But I mean, they're still going to have probably one of the best rotations in baseball, like always. Ryan Pepio is the main guy who they got back from the Glasnow trade. He'll somehow be an all-star this year. It's just the way I put it, the Rays double magic always wins. They're going to win 90+. They're going to have 90+ wins probably, but there's going to be some random prospect that no one's ever heard of and throws 60 innings out of the bullpen with a 1.3 ERA.
You sound annoyed, Elijah.
I mean, it's because it happens literally every year.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? It is the PECOTA standings has them at an 86 win, 75 loss. That's finishing in 4th place. Okay.
I don't believe that at all.
I agree. I think that's just telling you how solid the division is. It's so tight. Yeah, it's just so tight.
I mean, it's – I don't know. I wish I could sit in some of their meetings for their like GMs and coaches and stuff like that just to like the amount of knowledge that they have. And I don't know if it's they have some sort of technology that no one else has or they just have guys thinking different ways that works out. It's just – I mean, they are like I know people say the Moneyball A's were putting 2 people together to equal 1 person. I mean, this is the best you can think of it. They're saving money. They're always bottom 5 spending in the league and top 5 wins, top 5 record.
To me, it's more impressive than Moneyball because if people forget about the Moneyball A's.
Moneyball had Miguel Tata.
They were good. They were good. Like, but anyway, but the reason I think these are better is they're consistently good. Like this isn't just 1 year or a 2-year run. Like they're pitchers. I mean, they got Zach Eflin at the top, Aaron Savalier. But the guys, I mean, that are coming up, man, is Taj Bradley and Shane Baz. I mean, that's pretty. Taj Bradley and Shane Baz, they're gonna be good. Yeah. Like. And I know Shane Baz, didn't he get hurt last year? Did he get hurt? Yeah, so you got to expect him to come back. And but I mean, I think he's going to be good. Looking at their starting lineup real quick, Yandy Diaz is probably going to be their first baseman. Brandon Lowe is going to be their second baseman. Randy Arozarena is going to be their outfielder. He's kind of their new up-and-coming superstar. And then you got Josh Lowe is going to be outfield. Isaac Paredes is a third baseman / middle infield. Then we got Jose Siri is going to be an outfielder. Jose Caballero is probably going to be their shortstop, right? And then their catcher, Renan Pinto. Pinto. So, like I said, they're one of those teams where you don't know a ton of them. It's just you hate playing them. No. It's almost like the Orioles are. When we come and face them, you're just like everybody gives you a tough at bat.
No, yeah, I mean they're a scary team, and I mean obviously they lost someone that we're not really going to mention in the infield, but they're going to probably replace him with Junior Caminero, and I know he's a great infield prospect, and he'll just casually win Rookie of the Year or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it just their bullpen's just so amazing. They got Pete Fairbanks and Jason Adam. They're so good. Sean Armstrong, good, great. Yeah, they just it's like an all-star bullpen that you're facing all the time. But pretty exciting times to be a Rays fan. Because they just go out and win ball games. They're not even fun to go and watch either. Like you go to the Orioles play. The Angels. Angels are terrible, but at least you get to see Mike Trout. The Rays. I guess Rose Arena you get to see. I guess that's a guy, but still, I mean. We're going to finish up here real quick and talk about the Baltimore Orioles real fast. We talk about them every week, so this is going to be the shortest one, the shortest time that we talk about them for a while. Let's make some Orioles fans mad. What do you think, Elijah? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to make anybody mad. I mean, at least with my predictions and stuff. We're going to be good.
We're gonna be good. No, so I know who's gonna make them mad. The PECOTA standings, the standings all the bettors use, puts us right where we were last year. Well, hold on, gives us almost the same projections that it projected us to do last year. It has us finishing in third place with 86 wins, 75 losses. So I don't know if you've kept up with what my standings, the projected standings. First place Yankees, second place Blue Jays, third place is the Orioles, but we're tied with the Rays, and then last place is the Red Sox.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I disagree. I think we're going to be – I don't think we're going to win 101 games. I'm not expecting 101 games. You can't expect that every year. I know Yankees fans probably do, but you can't expect that every year. You're going to have people get hurt. That's the one thing that we had happen last year that I think we did good. We didn't have a lot of people get hurt, but – Mullins was out for a while. Hicks was out for a while. Wells got hurt. But you always – I don't know. That's kind of like a disgrace for me. It's just – I hope people bet that for the Orioles, like bet that. If I don't know much about betting, but if you're going to bet the over on anything, bet the over on our record if that's it.
Yeah, so people that don't watch – didn't watch much Orioles baseball last year. They like to say that everything just worked perfectly, which is not true. We made 2 trades right before the trade deadline. We got Jack Flaherty, not awful trade, but it just didn't work. He wasn't good. Then we got Fuji, didn't work. Then we tried to bring up our beast of our hopeful ace in Grayson Rodriguez. He was so bad we had to send him back down. So that we lost him for a while. Bradish, was it the first game gets hit with a line drive?
Yeah,
we lose him, right? Mullins, right when he was getting hot, he gets hurt. Mountcastle, he was getting hot, he gets hurt. Then he tries to come back, but here's the problem. We have this O'Hearn guy that just out of nowhere starts hitting the ball. So he had to, work his way back in. You want to talk about another horrible thing? Gunnar Henderson, your Rookie of the Year, they were saying they should send him down for the first 2 months of the season because he was so bad, right? Adley didn't hit as well as we thought he was going to hit at the beginning of the year. Really the whole year. I mean, he's still a stud catcher, but
he didn't improve from the year before. That's what everyone was waiting for.
Right. It is what it is. The best closer in baseball, Yeah. We lost him at the worst possible time. So we didn't have him for the whole month and a half before the season ended and into the playoffs. We had and when that happened, we still had to beat the Rays to win the division, which happened. So these people that are saying that everything just worked right for the Orioles.
It didn't.
My favorite, Tyler Wells, who was killing it, dropped off the face of the earth because he got tired. Well, he didn't get tired. He got fatigued. He hadn't pitched that much. So it's one of those things where it really burns me up. I don't know if you can tell when people say that because we had so much go wrong last year, and this team still I don't want to say defied the odds, but I mean, just proved everybody wrong. Just went out and battled. They're young. This phrase, take it for what it is, but they're young and dumb enough. They're still having fun playing baseball. They're not getting tired. At times where veterans are getting tired because they still haven't been there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So everything's still new to them. It's still like it's Christmas morning every single game. And as long as that happens, as long as they bust their butt out on a ground ball to the shortstop, I'm really excited for this team. But like I said, so they have us right now, finishing 15 games behind what last year's record was. I don't know if anybody has realized what's happened to the Orioles over the past few weeks. We just got one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and apparently we're now going to lose 15 games more. So I don't see that happening.
No, if we want to really make people mad, I'm looking at how Fangraphs has our bullpen projected. We're projected to be 27th best bullpen. So in case you don't know, that's a fourth worst. Sorry. But yeah, the other teams behind us are the White Sox, Rockies, and Royals, who are
who's
terrible.
In front of
us? Everyone else. So and it's interesting to see how out of all this, it's so weird how they have it. We have two people that are going to throw – okay, I'll give it 3 people out of everyone that's supposed to throw in our bullpen have it under 4 ERA. And out of all the names that we have, it's Yenye Cano, who's projected at 3.66, which I think is okay. Danny Coulombe's going to have a 3.99, and then Keegan Aiken's supposed to have a 3.84. They're projecting Kimbrel's going to have over 4. Dylan Tate's over 4. Like, it's – I don't know. I think some of these guys are definitely going to regress, and I think Cano's is probably accurate, but I don't see how we have all these people that are going to be this bad.
Yeah. So here's what I think happens. If that happens, if they are that bad, I think you see Elias bring people in. You know what I mean? That's when trades happen. So like if you see in the All-Star break, we're on that 86 win projection, you're going to see some pieces come in. Like, I just have to trust that because if there's a time to do it, it's now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this isn't a time for the Orioles to sit, and I don't think they will. I think that's why Elias is one of the best general managers in all baseball. I think he's going to be very aggressive. He wants to see right now where we're at, and if you have a chance to, get a guy, I think he'll jump on it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of where I'm at there. I'm really excited for the O season, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so hopefully everything the projections showed are wrong, and you know what? Seriously, if in worst case scenario, if we finish and we need a wild card, like I said, guess who starts our wild card opening game? Corbin Burnes. So we still got a chance. All right, everybody. Well, we really want to thank you for joining this show on our AL East Beast episode. We hope you enjoyed it. I promise next time we will talk a lot more about our O's, but we just wanted to give you a rundown on what we have to compete against. But please join us on our next episode of the Eutaw Street Banter, and we hope to see you next time. Have a great day.
Thank you.